New South Wales Labor has announced their housing policy for the election. They've vowed to increase its spending cap for first-home buyers if elected in March. Joining me live is New South Wales Shadow Treasurer Daniel Mookhey. Good to see you, Daniel. So we've got this announcement from Labor today. You're going to make stamp duty basically non-existent for first-home buyers as long as the cost of the house is up to $800,000, and then you reduce the cost of stamp duty up to $1 million. But New South Wales Treasurer Matt Kean says that's not going to create many options for people considering median house prices at the moment.
Well, I listened to Matt Kean when he was on your program just a short while ago, and I'd just simply say under our policy, 46,000 first home buyers will pay either no stamp duty whatsoever or a reduced rate in the first 3 years. And you can compare that to the amount of people Matt Kean says should be paying him an annual land tax that lasts forever if you stay forever, which is about 18,000 people over the roughly the same period of time. We're helping 3 times the number of first home buyers that Matt Kean is helping, but we're also making clear that unlike Mr Perrottet, we're not going to be imposing a land tax on family homes that last forever. The Premier has made it clear that he would like to see 80% of properties in New South Wales pay him an annual land tax. And we say that if he's re-elected, he certainly will. And we're also saying to first-home buyers is that you shouldn't have to pay stamp duty whatsoever, given the way interest rates are climbing right now. And that's why we focused on taking people out of the system. And Matt Kean and Dominic Perrottet are focused on making sure that they can pay him an annual land tax.
Would you say that there's been some contradiction in how you've announced things today? Because this is a major thing that you're taking to the March election, housing policy. The New South Wales state government is making housing reforms quite a major issue. When I talk about contradictions, I mean that in the press statement that you released, you say that 95% of first home buyers will be able to access this scheme. But then in the press conference earlier with opposition leader Chris Minns, he was saying that it's targeted. So how can it be targeted but also widespread at the same time?
Because there's no contradiction there at all. And we are saying that we are focusing on those first home buyers who are most likely to be knocked out of the market altogether as interest rates climb. So when we're talking about who we've targeted, and part of the reason why we're focusing on those who buy up to $1 million is so the relief that is available goes to those who most need it. And a real quick fact for you here, since December 2020, the number of first home buyers who are getting loan approvals in New South Wales has more than halved. With interest rates set to climb even further, the real risk is that first home buyers can't crack the market whatsoever. So we're targeting those who are far more likely to find themselves knocked out of the market altogether. Whereas the Treasurer and the Premier are using first home buyers as a Trojan Horse to establish a land tax that will go to 80% of properties in New South Wales, that rises as property prices rise and has to be funded out of wages, even though wages are falling right now.
Understand, but are your caps making it so first home buyers are restricted to just a few areas in the state?
Not at all. And I just make this very clear. I did listen very closely to Mr Kean's statements to you, and I think it's quite disappointing that he's misleading your viewers here, because he's effectively equating a market for first home buyers with a market for billionaires. When he's running figures around median prices, he's forgetting the fact that first home buyers don't pay anywhere near that. And that's the point about why we can help 3 times the number of first home buyers than Mr Kean can, because we've targeted it at those most likely to find themselves knocked out by rising interest rates. Whereas Mr Kean's policy certainly will benefit people who are precisely living in some of the most expensive property markets in the world. Now, of course, I accept that Mr Kean has different political challenges, but we're actually creating a policy here that is far more focused on the conditions that first home buyers are facing themselves right now in January, when interest rates going up, electricity prices soaring, tolls having to rise as well, and cost of living pressures at their most acute in decades.
It's a major issue and one we're going to hear plenty about over the next couple of months. Daniel Mookhey, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.